so many things which consolidated some knowledge, but he puts it in a really nice way. Basically, you don't want a really fast metabolism, you want a slower metabolism. Unless you want to be able to eat loads and loads of shit and stay slim, but that's not really a health decision, that's more an aesthetic decision. And then he was talking as well about iron levels, and if your iron's too high, that's much worse than it being too low. And I've always thought, oh, supplement with iron. And actually, one of the reasons I think women live longer than men is because they have a natural release of iron every month, which I used to when I played hockey. Not that I didn't used to get periods. That never happened. That's never happened. But hockey was a good blood loss. What? We're in the only studio allowed to talk about periods. It happens all the time, and I'm like stood behind.
Rise random conversations.
Sorry, we were live. So really good book. Watch it.
Morning, folks. Morning, folks.
Paradox. You're taking over now, aren't you?
Yeah, I think about has. Morning to everybody on Facebook. Have you selected everybody? Is there anybody waiting?
I don't know. I can't see.
No, all right. I'm going to leave that up there. And Ashton says she's coming in.
Yeah, and we're still hoping to do our retreat in July. Late July.
See what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And we're still hoping to do the party in summer, 20th of June.
Yeah.
And we will be doing a party at Christmas as well in the Steel Cauldron, which is Sheffield's newest wizarding retail cafe experience with a bar. It's a little bit of everything, isn't it? It sounds like Rob couldn't quite make his mind up what sector to go into, so it's all there. And we've been very busily. Yo, Rosie's coming in. Let's see.
See the pose.
Oh, and Martin. Is your dad coming in here, Martin?
Yeah.
Ah, it's so sweet. Rosie's parents come in as well. And so did Jen's dad. My dad won't be getting in.
Morning, team. Morning, pose. Morning, Rosie.
I'm Rosie.
Kiwi. Oh, she's in New York. In New York. Oh, you got no. Get volume, love. Get volume. Put your audio on.
5 minutes. Are we live on Instagram yet?
Not yet. It's not for 5 minutes to go.
I've always got stuff to say.
I know you have.
5 minutes. We can talk.
There we go. Good morning, Posy.
The 6
Morning.
hacks.
No, I'm in Hungary.
Hungary. I was going to say Budapest. Yeah. Ah, there's the flag.
Oh God, how do I change it back? That's.
Here comes Ashton into the house.
Yay!
I'm in real world. I'm just going to go and get a charger because I think my phone might die.
Oh no.
Morning, Dad. Morning, Ashton.
Hi, Dad-in-law.
How are we doing? Put your volume on, Ashton, so I can hear you.
Yeah.
We've gone circus theme this morning. We've got Jen the acrobat. Yeah. And Chris the clown.
Gangstar clown.
Have we got any backflips then?
No, we moved too quickly.
Yeah, we've got a backflip, but it distorts us. Because we're moving around too quick. Just done. Chris has just got a right dab on doing power.
We just did an awesome power 7. That's my favourite power.
Is it?
I think it's because at the beginning of yoga, it's all a bit clunky, and at the end of it, you're just like, whoa.
Chris, you look like a wrecked Ronald McDonald.
I'm like every child's nightmare, aren't I? All I need is like.
I hadn't thought about that, Ashton. That's very true. It looks like he's been on a mad night out, doesn't he? His face paint's got a bit.
To meet you on the way home at night.
No.
Oh, these cool backgrounds. How did you get those? Circus today.
Yeah, I just downloaded a circus background off the internet.
Nice.
How did you do it?
Tell Paul to be quiet.
Google a picture and then on Zoom you can set your background.
Are you on premium?
Morning, Mother.
No,
You can do it, Ashton. Oh, can I? Yeah, it's got the little video and it says stop video. It's got.
Right, I'm going live on Instagram
then
now.
you can choose a
Okay.
background.
Oh, all these little lessons.
Well, I'm Android, so.
Yeah, I know, because you need to go into the camera and go across the live at the bottom.
I've got it live.
No, you haven't.
Maybe you can do it on a desktop or something. I don't know.
Camera.
I'll fiddle around with it later.
Go across the bottom. No, again. Go across. Katie's coming in. Hi, Katie. Oh, Emily's in a forest.
We're all going background mad now. Are we live? Don't be terrified. This is everyone's worst nightmare.
I love the fact that Emily's just done power. Oh, she's got floating arms. Has just legged it into the forest for flex.
Talking to people on Zoom, in the Zoom room. So if you've not been in our Zoom room yet,
Fantastic.
do it. Go to rise.co.uk/online and you'll see a link there to enter in our Zoom room. And then we can see you like real folk. We're trying to work out at the moment how many people we can get in the yoga studio. It's fine. So what we do is we're having every 2 meters, and then we're stacking them. So 2 meters further above.
Like bunk beds.
It's like quantum computing. We're going to work on a third dimension. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put TV monitors into other empty studios so people can practice in there. And if that all happens, well, we'll get about 8 of us. Now we think we'll get 12. It's going to be like a VIP rise when we come back. And then, hey, if we get 12, we have a locker each.
Small wins. Small wins.
I must have known this was going to happen when I only built 12 lockers. Are they all in? There's a positive. Oh.
The closer you come, the more scared I get.
I have to manipulate my eyeballs to go into focus.
No, really. And Jen, do you know what you look like? You look like a 90s goth raver.
Maybe that's why I still got my outfit.
neon goth.
Yeah.
Quite similar to my school leaving outfit.
We are planning this now.
Morning, Ashling.
10 seconds,
Morning, Ian.
and then we're live for flex. And here's an experiment. See how you feel now? Do you feel like loosey-goosey? You won't, because it's Saturday morning. 45 minutes from now, you'll be like, what's that?
Mr. Soft, the minty chew.
Yeah, or Kiora guy.
Kiora. Boogie woogie
That's how
woogie.
you walk after doing flex. Like, get your socks on, Denny.
Right, we've got about 40 seconds to go, folks. Grab your mats, grab your blocks, grab your straps, if you so desire. Chris has gone a bit mad again. Needs some sort of sedative for him, I think. Anybody else? One person's waiting. Come on in, Emma.
Big turnout in the Zoom room.
Good morning, Emma. Good morning, good morning. Do you want to mute everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, 15 seconds to go, folks. Come on down into your wide leg child's pose. Morning into the folk. Take the big toes to touch. Take the knees out wide. Take a big breath in. And exhale. Release into your child's pose. Bringing the forehead down towards the ground. Extending the arms out long. If you've got a big juicy gap between the hips and the heels, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Just allow yourself to settle down with the breath. And over time, they may or they may not connect. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Just as long as you feel comfortable in your wide-legged child's pose. Breathing into the hips, the shoulders, and into the lower back space. Taking 3 full breaths here. So this new round of flex, if you've not practiced yesterday morning with me, this will be new to everybody. We, as normal, go through a little warm-up, a bit of plank round, a bit of balance, some lunge, some core, and then some snazzy wildcards to tie ourselves in knots with at the end. Letting the spine be long. And just feeling the back body swell as you breathe into your beautiful child's pose. Nice, easy, passive stretch out for the body before we start our practice. We're going to start with some little wrist exercises today. So on your next breath in, I want you to rise on up into an all-fours position. So bringing your knees underneath your hips is what I'm trying to say, and hands underneath the shoulders, spreading out the hands so that the fingers are got a little bit of space in between them. We're just going to flow with a cat-cow first of all, and then work into those stretches that I mentioned. So squeeze in through the belly here, find a nice flat back, a neutral spine, release the shoulders away from the ears, and just feel grounded through the tops of the feet, the knees, the hands. And then when you're ready to start your flow, working with the breath, we're going to use the pelvis to tilt as we drop the belly down, and let the chest lift, pressing through the upper arms, letting the gaze come forwards. You can close your eyes for this one. It's really nice to connect with the breath with the eyes closed. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the tailbone under, feeling the shoulders move away from the ears, feeling some space as you're squeezing through the belly, and just working with your own breath. Just Finding as much flexion and extension through the spine as you feel able to this morning. No pressure to do anything throughout the sequence which doesn't feel right. I'd much rather you focused on how your body's feeling in each individual position. Just respecting the body. Honour is a word that's bandied around in yoga quite a lot. Just honouring how your body feels. Don't feel that you have to keep up with the pros like me. Struggle with me, along with me. Taking a roll through the spine one final time.
We're professional athletes, go on.
You want to see me try and get this wildcard? I ain't pro at anything. Inhale and exhale, back to that neutral spine. Well done. All right, so just dropping the hips down towards the heels. I want you to take the right hand into the left, so taking a little drawback of the fingers towards the forearm. Just a little stretch back then and swapping sides. Right hand onto the left, so you're extending through the elbow, but just drawing back through the wrists. And then we're going to swap it but back the other way. So the fingers are facing down on the right hand, using the left hand to press into the palm of the hand, allowing you to press forward with the top part of your wrist. So just stretching out these extenders here. And then switching sides when you're ready. Pressing the right thumb into the left palm as you extend through the left arm, pressing the left wrist towards the front of your mat there. Okay, perfect. Releasing back down into tabletop and turning the fingers to face one another. Okay, so the outside, the forearms are facing to the outside long edges of your mat. Do you want to have a little go rolling to the right hand side? Keep the belly squeezed in, rolling to the left, but keep the heels of the hands down. So again, just working left and right for 3, 2, and 1. And then I want you to turn the hands again so that the fingers are facing back towards your knees and you're exposing the forearms to the short front side of your mat. This time we're going to roll backwards and forwards. So keep that nice strong core as you roll forwards, taking the shoulders beyond the wrists and then rolling backwards. Again, just bringing the shoulders back towards the, in line with the fingertips. Just taking a couple more here, left to right, sorry, front and back even. And then releasing. Okay, taking the hands into their normal position underneath the shoulders, pointer finger facing forwards. We're just going to have a go from tabletop at lifting up through the heels of the hands. So squeeze in through the core, make sure you're feeling comfortable, and then start to float the heels of the hands up off the ground if it feels okay. And then lower down. If you want to make this a bit harder, take the knees back a bit further, but keep the shoulders over the wrists. Lift and lower as many times as you like. You can take this from plank as well, which is really juicy. You might want to take one hand at a time, dropping up, dropping down, and then alternating which side you go on to. Okay, so it's quite strong. Just take a level which works for you. And then finding your way back into tabletop, we're going to take a cat with an extension. So from your tabletop, take a reach out with the right toe, so you're in that nice long spinal position, right toes reaching. And then from there, we're going to draw the knee in towards the nose, rounding through the spine a lot, tucking the nose in, and then exhaling, extending away. Just going to take a couple more of those and then swap sides. So this movement allows us to round through the spine, gives the belly a little bit of squeeze, nice gentle workout for the abs, and also there's a bit of weight bearing through the shoulders as well, prepping us for our next few poses. Okay, take the right knee down and extend away through the left leg. Stretching out, gaze down, remember, keeping the back of the neck nice and long, 3 little drives in, or you could just focus on that balance if you prefer. 2 more, squeeze in, left knee to nose, and extend. So nice controlled movement, don't just throw the leg around, focus on what you're actually doing, and release. Perfect. All right, from there, then we're going to drop the hips back down to the heels as we did before. We're going to take a twist through the spine. So bringing the left hand onto the right knee and sweeping the right arm around. If you want a bit of an opener through the shoulder, you can reach up and over with that right arm, just creating a little bit of mobility work, and then stacking the spine, taking the exhale, just mobilizing your way around to wherever you feel comfortable this morning. No need to take it too far, it's just a warm-up. Exhale, releasing back through center when you're ready. Right hand, left knee, reaching up, reaching over, giving yourself a giant wave to your neighbor, and then take a little roll round through the spine, just lifting up with the chest, stacking the spine, calming the nerves if you're feeling a bit jittery, and then releasing all the way back through center. Taking the hands out in front, extend the legs away from you, finding your nice long plank shape, and just holding in your plank. Engage the quads, so you're really focusing on lifting the kneecaps, pressing the heels away, squeezing the upper arms in for 3, 2, 1. Take the weight forwards and then start to lower down, bringing the elbows next to the rib cage, lower at the bottom, hold there for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up through the chest. Let the knees come down to the ground, or again, engage the quads as you lift up through your upwards facing dog. And then exhaling, rolling over the toes, back into your down dog. So finding lots of length here through the backs of the legs. You can pedal out the legs, you can keep the legs still, and through the arms and the spine as well. Or you think about it as a looping energy. So zipping up through the arms, up to the sit bones, down through the feet, traveling along the mat, back to the fingers, and then back, repeating that process. So feeling lots of energy in your dog this morning, getting ourselves ready for our challenging practice. There's quite a few challenging poses in this one. As ever, we like to keep you on your toes. From here, take the gaze forwards and start to creep the toes forwards towards the fingertips. Taking as much knee bend as you like. Take the hands onto the shins. Enjoy that flat back, and then enjoy a forward fold as you release the head down. Let it dangle down, let the arms dangle, maybe catch the elbows in the hands, maybe have a little sway round. You might want to take an interlock of the hands behind the back if that feels nice. Any variation of a forward fold for 3. Just feeling a bit of space gathering between the vertebrae as you hang upside down. 2. And for 1, let's root down through the feet as we rise up tall. Inhale to lift. Arms can face, the palms can face, or bringing the hands together, maybe taking a little back bend. Nothing too juicy just yet. And then releasing, squeezing onto the belly as we roll down chin to chest through each part of the vertebra all the way down till the hands reach the floor. Taking a big step back, one foot then the other, and transition again from there. Low plank, nice controlled, nice steady flow through our flex sequence. Lifting up through the chest, exhaling back to downward facing dog, stretching out there, just resetting and getting ready for our plank sequence. So we're going to start off with move 1, which is a Spider-Man. So we're looking at a hip rotation here, bringing the knee around to the elbow. So making your way forwards on the next breath in, rolling forwards. So you can take the opposite knee down. So if we started on the left side, my right knee would be down. I'm drawing a big semicircle with the left knee, coming all the way back. Of course, I would encourage you to take this from plank if you can. When you're ready, let's go. For another 5. Perfect. 4. We're taking a side plank after this. 3. So make sure the shoulders are over the wrists. 2. And a final little 1. So keeping that left leg lifted, come back through centre and see if you can bring the left arm into the air as you open out to the left side of your mat. So you're in a side plank. If you need to drop down onto the forearms for this, you can. The aim is to get the hips nice and high. Okay, here's the bow pose that I mentioned. You can take a hold of the top foot or ankle and see if you can think about engaging the glutes to press the hips forwards. So you're not, if you look down on yourself, you wouldn't be in that banana shape. Okay, you'd be in that nice straight line. Full breaths in and out for 3, 2, got wild thing next. 1, take that left foot down behind you and reach up and over with that left hand. Now, if you want to take a kneeling version of this, bring the right knee down. If you want to extend it a little bit, I want you to think about lifting up through the right leg and crossing it over the left. So a bit more challenging on the balance this one. So you're taking the right leg over the left whilst you're in your wild thing. That's it, hold in there, keep pressing down. 3, 2, 1. Release that right leg, release the left hand down to the floor. Don't think Jesus is going to help you on this one, Mr. Clownface. All right, inhale here, and exhale, releasing to the left side. Sorry, no, we've not done the right leg, have we? Back to spider. Sorry, folks. So option to bring the left knee down if you need to. Taking 3 big circles round, or was it 5? I can't remember. 5. Let's go 5. Okay, 3 more. Remember, you can rest whenever you need to. Don't feel that you have to keep going throughout the whole sequence. I might do that. All right, well done. That's 5. Take the left hand down. Open up to the right-hand side of your space. Option to stay in side plank. Remember, if you've got your feet staggered like mine are now, that's a bit easier. You can stack your feet for that extra challenge, or you can take the right foot into the right hand, working into your side plank with a bow. For 3. Wild thing coming up. 2. And 1. Float the right foot behind. Press up through the hips I'm just going to move my foot onto the mat because I've got leg warmers on and my foot keeps sliding. So option here to take the left foot, wrap it over that right base leg, and then see if you can return those hips up nice and high. So it's just challenging the balance a little bit more. Still working into the same shoulder strength and hip and front body opener as you would in a normal wild thing. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, release the left foot, release the right hand, back down. Awesome, well done. From here, we're going to release back into down dog, just to take a bit of weight out the shoulders. And then we're going to be working into an L-sit. So I want us to bounce forwards, landing on our bottom, so lifting up through the hips and coming forwards. So L-sits to reverse table. You can start off in the L position or you can start off in the reverse table. It's entirely up to you. Taking the hands somewhere between the butt and the knees. We're going to inhale, try not to get hold of my skirt, lift up into table. So the gaze is high, back body's engaged. Then as you exhale, control that descent down. So you're coming into this lift of the sit bones off the floor. So squeezing to lift on the inhale. Exhaling, slowly allowing yourself to come back down. Well done. And again, inhale to lift up. And exhale to release. We're going to take one more. So nice workout into the back body. Lifting up. And slow release from there. Well done. Crossing the legs, planting the hands, and stepping back into our presses. So we're going to take one narrow, one wide, and then one narrow. So option is on the knees again. Make sure the fingers are spread out, weight's coming forwards. Keep the elbows nice and close next to the rib cage. Lower. And press back up. Take the arms out wide. So working into the pectorals a bit more here. Lower. Elbows wide. And back up. And back to narrow. Well done. Lower. And lift. Good job. So from here, we're going to be working into our one-arm side plank. So taking the right hand down again, taking the left arm into the air, and then starting to sink the right hip to the floor. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. It's a really nice juicy stretch for the right side of the body. So you can either stay here, you might even want to take a bind, bringing the left leg up a little bit, or if you want to work more into the waistline, you can start to lift and lower the hips, okay? So either of those, you can take it static, working on flexibility, or you can take this lift and lower. We're going to take another one and then swap sides. Lift and lower. Perfect. So bringing the left hand down, back through plank, and to the other side. So left hip floats down towards the ground. Option to take the right big toe into a bind. So you're still feeling that stretch, or you can lift and lower those hips once more. For another 3. Nice work. 2. Make sure you're controlling both phases up and down. And 1. Lovely. Come back through center. Find your high plank. Knees is your option. Take the weight forwards. Exhale to low plank. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, back to your down dog. Stretch out, reset. We've got balance next. So it's quite strong on the ankles, this balance, and onto the inner thighs, but that's okay. Okay, release those shoulders away from the ears. And looking forward towards the hands. You can hop, you can fly, you can jump, you can crawl, you can wiggle your way forwards into that flat back, that halfway lift. And exhale, folding down, releasing the head nice and heavy. One more breath in, just enjoy some space in the back. And release as you exhale. All right, softening down, inhale to rise up. And bring the hands down through heart center. I'm just going to have a little courtesy draw down of my skirts at the back so I'm not flashing. All right, so taking a wide knee toe stand. So what we want to do is to turn the toes out slightly and bring the heels together, okay? A bit like a ballerina, I think. And then we're going to start to come down into our toe stand. Now, depending on how much mobility you have through the ankles, this might be really challenging for you. Okay, bringing the heels together as you press together, which engages the inner thighs, taking the knees out as wide as you can. Now, if you're feeling wobbly, you can take the hands down, you can just stay here. Otherwise, you can take the hands to the heart center. I'm going to take 3 lifts and 3 lowers, but you don't have to. See how it feels. So we're going to take an inhale and squeeze up. Keep those heels pressing together. Exhale to lower down. So a bit like a plie, I think, in ballet. Not that I've done ballet, I was up a tree most of my childhood. Inhale, lift up, and exhale.
Explains a lot, that.
Lower down. Final time if you're taking this lift and lower. Well done, really engaging the inner thighs as well as opening into the hips. Final release down. Perfect, well done. Release the hands to the floor and bring the feet together. We're going to lift up into chair pose, keeping the feet together so that it flows nicely into our next move. So inhaling, rising up, bring the heels down towards the earth, press down through the heels, squeeze the knees together, extend away through the arms. So sinking the hips down, you should be able to see your toes in front of your knees, so you're not bringing the knees too far forwards. So we're taking a stretch out here, really nice one for the Achilles, at the back of the ankle. It's a good one. It's also meant to be good for toning the heart as well. So just taking a static hold. So really working into squeezing the knees together and the ankles, engaging the thighs. Good for toning the legs. For another 3. Well done. It's good for flat feet as well, apparently. 2. And 1. Good. Inhale to lift. Now what I want you to do, if it feels okay to do so, we're going to roll onto the outside edges of the feet. So bringing the soles of the feet as close together as you can, taking the arms up to start off with, and then exhaling, coming into a bound angle chair. So again, we're taking the knees out wide. It's another hip opener, squeezing in through the belly so we're not overarching that lower back, and keeping the arms lifted. If it's too much on the arms, you can take the arms out behind you instead, working into a little chest opener. So again, just as with chair, see if you can send the weight and the sit bones back a little bit more here. That's it. So stretching the outside of the ankles, got lots of little tendons and the muscles running down towards the feet, which sometimes get overlooked. So it's a nice stretch out here. Also great for toning the butt. For 3, well done. 2, and 1. Inhale to rise. Well done. Release the feet back down to the floor. Ground down through the left foot, and we're going to float down with the left hand just in front of the left foot. We're going to kick up with the right leg, trying to work our way into our standing half moon. So you want to bring your left hand just in front of your left foot. If you've got a prop and you want to balance holding onto something, a block or small child, whatever you've got, focus on kicking up as high as you can with this back leg, so really activating the outside of your hip, rolling the right hip on top of the left as we extend up with the right arm. So spreading fingertip away from fingertip and catching that balance there in our standing half moon. So a really good way of working into the torso. You can, like Chris is doing, have a little reach up of the fingers off the mat with your left hand, just have a little float.
They can't see my right foot.
No, I was going to say your right foot stuck to the wall there, Chris. You look amazing. For 3.
This is how the pros do it, like this.
2.
No wall contact.
And 1. Let's see how you transition into triangle then, Chris, with that right foot stuck to the wall. Inhale. Exhale, floating your right foot to the back of your mat. Sorry, turning the right toes out, heel to heel alignment or heel to inner arch. Make sure you're squeezing in through the belly here and tucking the pelvis under. Floating the arms up, inhale. Exhale, reaching forwards with the left fingertips and finding lots of stretch down the front of your, down the back of your front leg. Maybe taking the right fingers nice and high and letting the gaze follow the top hand. Or if you're feeling a bit wobbly, looking down towards the floor or maybe over to the horizon. So rotating this left shoulder back a little bit, encouraging the heart to lift. Really breathing into the torso here. Keep those glutes engaged, pressing the hips forwards. Well done. For 3, 2, connecting with that breath. And for 1, take the gaze down, soften that front knee, and windmilling the hands down, step back into your plank. Inhale here, exhale, low plank, inhale, up dog, exhale to down dog, and then making your way, hopping again to the front edge of your mat. Let's have a go at our standing half moon on the other side. So this time, right hand comes down just in front of the right foot. If you want to pop it on something, it makes it a little bit easier. I'll leave that. I was going to go and get my brick, but I'll leave it there. So you can start off by taking the left hand onto the left hip, and the gaze can stay down, that's fine. Just focus on really opening out through this top shoulder as much as you can, maybe taking the gaze over towards the left, possibility of taking the left arm up, and then floating your way into this nice, strong, active pose here, working through the waist, working into the glute medius as we lift this top leg up, squeezing into the legs, finding strength through this standing leg, maybe taking the gaze up to that top hand if you're feeling really stable this morning. Well done. For another 3, keep breathing. 2, looking really nice at home. Well done, folks. And for 1, let's have a go at triangle pose, floating with control, taking the left foot to the back of the mat. Again, check out the footwork here. Heel to heel or heel to inner arch, floating up with the arms. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, reaching forward to the right fingertips and then windmilling the arms down, making sure that we've got that nice, strong position where you feel like you're holding a box that might be, well, massively too big for you in reality. So taking a reach up of the left fingers, right fingers working down towards the earth, onto a block perhaps, pressing forwards with the hips, squeezing in the core, and breathing. So much to think about. Full breath. For another 4. Keep pressing away down that left outside edge of the foot. 3.
I was just thinking about what's the biggest box I've ever picked.
It's like when you carry one of those massive TVs. 2. And 1. Float the gaze down towards that right big toe. Soften through the front knee. Take the hands down once more. Take the foot back. So we're in our high plank. Inhale. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. So we've got our little lunge section coming up. Exhale, 2 downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Wiggle those hips around even. Maybe come up onto the toes. Drop one hip down to one side. Maybe doing the same on the other side. Just nice to have a little stretch out. Okay, grounding down from here. Inhale up with the right foot. Extend away with the right toes. As you draw breath in, you're going to bring the right knee towards the chest and then slowly pop the right foot down between the hands. Coming into a crescent lunge. Back heel wants to be lifted on this one. Inhale, rise up. Okay, so we can keep the arms up in the air like this, or you can have the hands at heart center. We want to encourage a little bit of a back bend here. So dropping right down into the hips and swelling the heart up towards the sky or towards the forest ceiling if you're Emily, or if you're still in Hungary, Rosie, up towards one of those magnificent architectural buildings. For those at home, we've got our Zoomers with different backgrounds. That doesn't make any sense to you, I know. So lifting up nice and tall, stretching out, reaching down. Come on, let's get those hips a bit lower. Make sure that right knee is in line with the right hip. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, release the hands down, drop that back knee down and start to extend through this right leg. So you can keep the sole of the foot down on the floor. Make sure the hips haven't gone on a bit of a wonk. Make sure they're in line with that extended right leg. If you want to, you can bring this right set of toes up towards the ceiling and folding into your half splits from there. So you can extend away with the hands beyond the feet. If you're quite high up, that's fine. It doesn't really matter where you get to. It's not a competition against anyone else. It's not even a competition with yourself. If you have got full splits in your practice and you want to start moving into that, remember to take lots of weight through the hands. So you're sitting up nice and tall. Full breath in. And out. Try and relax. It's a patient person's pose, this one. Do you like that alliteration? P, 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 P. Full relaxing breath. Maybe even close the eyes. For 3. Good one for increasing the range of movement at your hips. 2, practicing that perseverance that I just mentioned. Well done. And 1. The tricky bit is getting out of this, I think. So pressing into the hands, maybe bringing that back knee forwards. And what we're going to do is bring both feet to the ground and pivot around towards the long left side of your mat. So we're going to be taking a forward fold from here. Or a wide-legged squat, sorry, with a fold out the waist. So bringing the seat down a little bit, so you've got a bent knee. I want you to come into this wide squat position. I'm going to extend the arms out wide. I'm going to take the right arm over the left. So we're either going to bring the backs of the hands together and start to press the fingers away, or we're going to bring the palms together and do the same thing. So the gaze wants to be down towards the floor. As you release the fingertips forward, see if you can come down a bit deeper into the hips. My hips absolutely hate this and love it at the same time. Weight into the heels when we're squatting, of course. Take a nice long spinal position if you can, but keep thinking about sending those shoulder blades back towards the base of your spine. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Come down a bit deeper if you can. Right, hold it there for me. Keep that breath flowing, but hold in that really deep squat for 3, 2. Nice stretch out for the shoulders with the eagle arms. And 1. Release those eagle arms. Walk the hands back round to the front of your mat, framing the front foot. And we're going to push up into a runner's lunge. So back heel's lifted, right knee's in line with the right hip. Inhale, lift up. Connecting the shoulder blades together. I want you to see that active squeeze. I also want to see that extension through the arms, so engaging the triceps. In the runner's lunge, we've got that lovely diagonal shape to the body. So make sure this right knee is stacked over the right ankle and extending from there. And you can hold, I'm going to flow. So what I mean by that is I'm going to say inhale, lift up through the arms, and then exhale, release the arms out behind you, taking that little squeeze. We're going to take 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. So Chris is offering a different one. I'll show you as well. So inhale to lift, and then pressing the breath away on the exhale, a bit of Tai Chi. Okay, inhale to rise up. This time we're going to release all the way down. So we're going to take a drop of the left hip. So turning this front foot 90 degrees towards the right hand side of your mat. I want you to take weight through the left hand as you drop the left hip down. So you're still working into this right hip, but you get a great stretch all the way down the outside edge of your left outer thigh and hip. Now extending the right arm away towards the back edge of your mat. You can look in that direction if that feels okay. It's quite strong on the left wrist, so keep working hard. That's why we did quite a lot of warm-up poses for that one. You should be able to feel that at the side of your left hip, just stretching away there for 3, 2, 1. Release. Take the right hand down. Step it back slowly into down dog. Stretch out that right leg. Nice work, everyone. Have a little wiggle round. Release the shoulder blades away towards the sit bones. Pressing down with the chest towards the thighs. 1 more breath. Inhale. Crescent lunge coming up on our second side. So taking the left leg into the air this time. Pointing the left toes. Inhale. Driving the left knee forwards towards the chest and then popping it between the hands. So crescent lunge. You can drop the back knee down a little bit if you want, okay? So taking that inhale and that lift. So coming up, maybe taking the hands to prayer. You might want to release the hands into an interlock behind the back. That can feel nice as well. Or you might want to take the arms up wherever you are. So you can drop down onto the back knee if that's your preference, but let's focus on lifting up through the chest and finding that expanse through the front body. Nice stretch out there. Well done, everyone. Making sure that that front left knee is not knocking into the center of your mat as well. So we're engaging the inner thigh. Looking good at home for 3, 2, 1. Let's find our half or full splits. Releasing the hands, coming down onto the mat. Drop that back knee down. Maybe untuck that back foot and start to release the hips towards the back of your mat. So we're thinking about lengthening through the spine here. Don't worry about dropping your nose down towards your knee. I think about like when you're in a forward fold, you want to extend the heart forwards towards the toes. So not too concerned about getting your head down. I want you to think about length. Taking that stretch out through the spine and into that left leg. If you've got your splits on this side, go for it. Take a little nudge away of that right leg towards the back end of your mat. Lots of weight taken through the hands, of course. And taking 5 more breaths wherever you are. 1 more. Inhale. That was a quick 5 breaths. I'll give you another couple. Finding that flow, finding that state of less anxiousness in this pose, I think. 1 more breath. There we go. Perfect. From there, taking the weight forwards, being really careful if you're in your full split, taking the hands around to the right-hand side of your mat and coming into your wide leg squat. So sinking the hips down. If you want to adjust the feet a little bit, that's fine, as long as they're parallel and the hips are coming down. We're going to take the arms out to the side, and they can stay there if you like. Otherwise, we're going to take eagle arms left over right, binding at the elbows and maybe at the wrists. Chest is parallel, weight into the heels, stretching fingertips forwards as the shoulder blades release towards that space behind you. Coming down nice and deep into that squat. Ooh-wee. There we go. Squeeze, 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 and fold down a bit deeper if you can. For 3 and 2. Got runner's lunge next. And 1, well done. Release the arms. Inhale to rise. Or you can walk the hands round if you prefer. Pivoting towards the front of the mat, taking your runner's lunge. Left knee over left ankle, extending away long through that right arm. Inhale to rise up with the arms. You can take that flow as before, breathing away on the exhale with the Tai Chi, or you might want to exhale the arms behind you. Totally up to you. You might just want to hold. So taking another flow of breath for 3, 2, final time, well done. And 1. So our variation on twisted lunge, bringing both hands down to start off with. Right hand inside the left foot. Remember, turn the left foot a quarter turn. And as you do so, drop that right hip down, okay? Stretching out behind with that left arm. And really feeling that stretch on the outside of the right hip. Nice, deep, full breaths. So you can see that my left knee is in line with my left hip. It's sort of at a right angle. That's it. Is my what? My bum's not on the floor, no. Sorry, my skirt's in the way. You're aiming, it is now. It can come down to the floor depending on how you're feeling. Obviously a lot deeper of a stretch if your bum's down. But you can keep it lifted. 1 more breath. Inhale. Nice work. Release back through center. Well done. Step back. Find your down dog. Have a little breather. If you want to take a child's pose and take some weight out the wrists, then feel free. I'm going to take a transition. So high plank. Exhale down, low plank. Inhale, up dog. We've got our core section coming up, then wildcards. Exhale, release into your down dog. And then making your way to seated, you can walk the feet forward and just lower. I'm going to take a little lift and a float down. So we're going to take some bound angle sit-ups, a dynamic bridge, some little heel taps, and lots more to play with. So rolling down through the spine, soles of the feet come together, let the knees drop out wide. Taking the hands into a James Bond pointer, we're going to take an inhale, squeeze the belly, lowering the lower back towards the floor as you lift up, and then release down. So aiming to get the shoulders up as high as you can, squeeze to lift, exhale to release down. 3 more, inhale, squeeze, exhale, lower, lovely. 1 more, inhale, and let's pulse at the top of this one. So a little pulse at the top, 5, 4, 3, nice, 2, 2, 2, keep going guys, and 1, well done. Connecting the lower back to the floor once more, taking the heels down onto the floor, into this sort of bridge pose. We're going to elevate the left leg into the air. As we do so, we're going to start to float up and down through the hips. Now, if you have your arms down by the side of you, it makes you more stable. If you want to make this more challenging, take the arms up above the head. Okay, so when you're ready, taking a squeeze and a slow release of the hips up towards the sky. And then on your exhale, just as slowly, all the way back down. And again, all the way up, squeeze. Lift, really find that full extension through the front of your right hip, engaging both glutes and then lowering down. 1 more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, releasing down. And then let's swap sides. Left foot connects with the ground, bringing the heel as close to your bottom as you can, lifting the right leg into the air. Remember, arms can be down by the side body or above the head. Squeeze to lift. Exhale to slow lower down. 2 more. Inhale, well done. Really focusing on building strength in the glutes and the lower back. But then we do use the abdominals as we lower down with that control. Final time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Perfect. Bringing both heels down next to the bottom now. Just work a little bit, work on the waist. So taking a squeeze as we lift up through the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, reaching for your little pinky toe with your left hand to the left foot. Back through center. Keep the shoulders off the ground. Right toes. Back to center. Left toes. Okay, so keeping those shoulders lifted. Just enjoying that nice lateral twist. For another 3, 2, and for 1. All right, we're going to bring the crown of the head to the floor now, working in a fish pose variation. So if you can, it might be worth rolling up onto your bottoms a minute so you can see what's happening. We're going to tuck the fingers underneath your, where are you off to? All right. Chris is going to get himself a brick. You might want a brick as well. Tucking the fingers underneath the top of the bottom of the lower back, squeezing the elbows in together. We're going to release the crown of the head down onto the floor. Now, if this feels like enough of a stretch through the body, stay here. Or if you're feeling quite strong, you can start to lift up through the legs as well. So keeping the legs out in front of you. Another option, if you're feeling super strong, would be to remove the hands from underneath you and taking the arms and the legs out on that diagonal hold. You could start to lower and lift the legs if you found that okay. So any variation of this fish pose. If this isn't working for you, just release the back of the head down and take some nice strong leg lowers from there. So fish leg lowers or your normal hold in fish. Well done. For 3, just having a quick look at the peeps at home. 2. And 1. All right, we've got time for our pigeon bridge. So taking the right heel down to the floor, taking the left ankle onto the right thigh. And so there's a hip opener as well as a back strength builder as well. Taking the left knee towards the front of your space, flexing this top left foot, pressing down into the heel and squeezing to lift once more. So it is a hip opener, so feel your way into this. And if you want to have a go at taking the hands underneath the hips, that'll just give you that extra little bit of lift up. You can hold here. Any variation of this pigeon bridge, just holding for 3. You could use a block if you've got one in lieu of your hands. 2. 1. Slow release down. Final switcheroo, and then we're on to our wild card. Bring the left foot down, take the right foot on, flexing the right foot again. Think about opening through this top hip as we lift. Inhale, squeeze to lift. So this time I'm not going to take the bind, I'm just going to demonstrate holding there. You want to snuggle the shoulder blades together. Keep squeezing, keep lifting. Well done. Think about that strength that we're building. For 3, 2, and 1. Slow release. Well done. Give yourself a little bit of a hug in, pressing the lower back into the ground. And from there, take a little rock and a roll up to seated. So this has got me in a right few knots, this wild card. We've had about 3 different wild cards. Rosie and Ashton will be telling you about those. And I keep changing them because
You can't do them.
I can't do them. Yeah. Anyway, this one we're going to work towards together.
So we're all stuffed.
No. This is one of the better ones, I think. It's a variation of your side crow. It's an eagle-legged side crow. Okay. So what I want you to do is probably just watch first. You're going to start, I think it's easier getting into it this way, although you might find a different way in, is taking your eagle leg. So taking a bind, okay, crossing that top leg over. If you can take that secondary bind round the ankle, give it a whirl. I can't get that yet, so I'm taking that top bind. You're then lowering down into a little squat, and as with the side crow, you're aiming to bring, in this instance, your right tricep underneath your left thigh, and taking the left hand down to the ground. So you're going to be leaning in that direction. So you're in this sort of single toe stand. That's it, hands to the floor. From there, just like with your normal crow, I want you to think about engaging through the belly, engaging the bandhas, as it were, if you're a purist yogi. Inhale, and then exhale, taking the weight forward. So as you start to move into your side crow, you can start to extend the legs out in your eagle-legged position. Okay, so that stretch, that twisted stretch we were doing before, on the outside of the hips where we drop the hips down. It's really beneficial because it's stretched out that space quite a lot. Yeah, it's quite juicy. So if you've just watched that one, let's have another go together. I'll show you again, okay? So standing up nice and straight, cross the left leg over like you're about to take an eagle bind. From there, start to move down, okay? Walk the hands around towards the left, plant the hands underneath the shoulders, and using the right elbow and the right tricep underneath that left thigh, that's going to be where you get that purchase. Zip up through the core, inhale, exhale, leading with the crown of the head, working onto that side crow, and then extending the legs out towards the right hand side of your space. Okay, if you can get that secondary bind at the ankle, amazing. Okay, but that's what we're working towards. And then you can have a go on the other side. I am running out of a bit of time. I'm just going to let you have a practice. If that feels like it's completely out of whack, then we have got a forearm split balance to play around with as well. I'll just quickly show you that. I find this easier coming into a froggy sort of position. Taking the left forearm down, you're going to bring it parallel to the short front side of your mat. Right hand stays underneath the, or just in line, so you've sort of drawn the startings of a square. Okay, you've got that nice right angle. Okay, and then from here, lifting up with the sit bones, resting down with the left forearm, taking the right hand onto the right heel, lifting the sit bones nice and high, and then see if you can float that left leg into either a knee bend, like a pincer, or maybe an extension as well. So you're really pressing down with the right heel onto the right hand. So that's one variation if eagle side crow is not your bag, but we'll be working towards these over the next few weeks as well. So try and keep the head up a little bit, Chrissy. That's it. All right, folks, we have got a minute to go. Let us come down and take a few stretches. Good job. So releasing your way out of whatever mad position you've got yourself into. Taking the hands onto the knees, taking a little circle through the hips. You can always keep practicing that after the session's finished and see if you can swap sides. Alrighty, well done. Let's release the breath. Taking the peace sign fingers around the big toes, taking the soles, the feet up towards the floor. Take a breath, inhale, and inhale. Exhale, release the shoulders down towards the ground. Close the eyes. And just focus on drawing the knees towards the floor. You can have a little rock from side to side if that feels comfortable on the lower back. Any other little releases to the spine that you want to take, feel free. If you want to take a spinal twist, go ahead. Remember, it's your practice. I'm going to, because of the time of the video, head on into Shavasana. So you can take the legs long, the arms long. You might prefer to take a reclined butterfly. Full breath in. Little sigh maybe. So think about softening all of those muscles through the body, letting the belly be soft, resting the eyes closed, and you can stay here for as long as you like. Just breathing into the chest, into the belly, and letting that breath work its way around the whole of the body, all the way to the fingertips, to the toes, ever in between, to the ears, that little space behind your eyes. Leave no space unturned. One more breath together. Inhale. And exhale. And then from there, maybe drawing in the knees, taking another little rock maybe rolling onto your side, or rocking and rolling your way up to seated. Or as I said, you can just stay put, enjoying your Shavasana for a bit longer. Stacking the spine, sitting up tall, and taking one breath together here. Well done, everyone. Inhale up through the arms, fill up the lungs, and exhale, hands down to the heart center. Thanks so much for coming to practice today, to Instagram, to Facebook, and to everyone at home. Have a wonderful, splendid Saturday. Take care, everyone.
Woo-hoo. And if you haven't given us a review recently, because I'm not around to ask everybody as they're coming in and out, we would love some more reviews. We're starting to drop off there. Google, Facebook, TripAdvisor, Yelp, we'll take them all. And we'll give you 25 Rise reward points, which is 25 pence.
Thanks, guys.
That's a big earning day.
you get on with that?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, how did that feel?